welcome to the Global Health Connector Summit. And as I like to say, healthcare knows no borders, as easily demonstrated by the pandemic, if you think about it. So I'm just going to put up. So on the slide, you can see the names of Brian, Andy, Nicole, and John, who are the home team, if you like, for today. So please feel free to speak to any of them about anything that captures your imagination or interest during the summit. But I wanted to start by saying we have four, if you like, world-class themes for today. When we have the village on the exhibition floor, which Andy will tell you a little bit about after I finish. Secondly, we have women's health as one of our global health connector themes. And we have our world-class partner here, the Societies for Women's Health Research, when that panel takes place a little later. Thirdly, we have healthy aging, another of our four global health themes, and a truly world-class panel of speakers later on. And then finally, we have an AI panel, which features Mount Sinai, who are a sponsor for today's summit, and I'd like to acknowledge their sponsorship. And obviously, they are a world-class hospital, so there should be some very good content there. So a little bit about us. Who are we? What do we do? Okay, so excuse the slight sales pitch. But the starting point is that we have communities of all stakeholders needed to transform healthcare. And there are 80 plus of these, and Brian will say a little bit more later when he makes an announcement. But there are four things on that slide that I really want to emphasize. One is that we match need and solution, that we break down silos, and that silos are between organizations and within organizations, and the silos between people, and the silos between sectors. And we then transform health and create economic opportunities. A little bit more about that later. And the four boxes at the bottom of this slide are how we do it. So we connect, convene, amplify, and accelerate. But here is the core key delivery asset of the ECHAlliance. At the heart of our ecosystems, our communities, is this diagram. This diagram represents all the stakeholders that you need to participate to transform health and care. And the ecosystems are geographic, regions, and countries, and they include companies and effectively customers in American language. And the idea is that these are permanent. They meet at least 4 times a year to do stuff, not talk about doing stuff. That's the mantra. And at the bottom of the page, you can see creating economic growth, so growing GDP and growing jobs. So what the communities are doing is building trust, building relationships in order to build collaborations. And giving you an idea of what this looks like, today there are over 80 communities/ecosystems in 46 countries around the world. This is an unparalleled network. And you can see that we have a number in the US. And Brian and I have been coming to the US, well, he's for a lot longer than I have, but at least 20 years looking at healthcare in the US and beginning to plan and plot how the ECHAlliance, the Global Health Connector, can expand in the US. So a little bit more about some of the ecosystems. So we created during the pandemic virtual ecosystems, basically around particular topics or subjects. The importance of these is really the opportunities they present for organizations. So this is finding and being able to use international best practices, making international connections, being able to deliver thought leadership on an international stage, and being able to get involved in funded projects. and for companies the opportunity to sponsor any of these thematic innovation ecosystems in order to actually realize those opportunities. So again, a little bit more about why work with us. So we find best practices for you to use. We optimize resources by reducing duplication of time, effort, resources, and cost to solve common health problems. We match buyers and sellers of products and services. We connect startups with accelerators and incubators. We connect investors with startups, and we connect accelerators with accelerators. And then finally, we view the community and the ecosystems as both an intelligence network, meaning you can find out information that you need to know if you're going to enter a market, and also to win businesses. So it's an implementation network. So turning then just to the membership categories so you can understand what this looks like. So as you descend the membership categories, we increase the amount of tailored, personal business development services we provide to members. And there's a QR code that you can scan if you want more information. And in fact, at the end of my presentation, there are slides. A QR code to my slide deck. So then an example of some of our thought leadership. In Europe, there is something called the European Health Data Space, which is accessing for secondary use all of the health data of the member states of the European Union. This is a call to action that arose from a roundtable program that we did for Johnson & Johnson and Microsoft. And that has led to 6 published reports that you can again access via the QR code as an illustration of the work and the expertise that we have. Very quickly then, turning to the services that we provide, there are 5. So it's around thought leadership, advisory and policy, innovation and research, brand development and communication, and event services. And if you're interested in any of these, please speak to the team that's here and we'll be able to help you. So finally, we have next month our 6th Digital Health Virtual Society Summit, which is 2 days, and it's online and free to register. So take a look at the agenda and please register if there are any sessions that interest you. And then here are some QR codes to subscribe to the newsletter and to subscribe to becoming a member. And then I want to finish with just some calls to action. And Brian and I have a phrase that we like, which is steal with pride when you find a good idea somewhere else. And this is Irene, and I think she's here. So the calls to action are, please visit the Global Health Village on the main floor, meet our ambassadors and talk about the Global Health Connector team, become a member, join us at the Digital Health Society's virtual summit, and then 3, 2, 1, which is the stealing with pride, which is what is the one after this summit, what is the one immediate action that each of you will make? 2, resources or organizations that you will use after the summit. And 3, potential partners to reach out to in the next 30 days after the summit. And with that, thank you all very much, and I'll hand over to Andy.